What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and I hope you're all doing well today. This is gonna just be a quick little tip on how you can get sockets for gear you've earned during patch 9.1 and 9.15, as it's now even faster than before. This is another change that comes down to the good quality of life improvements with this most recent patch, as before, this method of getting sockets was pretty cost inefficient and heavily time gated. I'll also mention a second way you can earn sockets too, but I really recommend this first one. There is only one item that can add sockets to gear in patch 9.15, and that is the Alloy Warping Facetor. This item has two sources, with one being Archivist Rogue of the Archivist Codex reputation, and the other being Bonesmith Airmere. The Alloy Warping Facetor can only be used on gear earned from patch 9.1 or 9.15, and sockets can only be added to helmets, necklaces, bracers, belts, or rings for whatever reason. Unfortunately, thanks to the extremely popular and cool thing that is Domination gear, you can't put sockets on gear that have a Domination socket on them. Or if you're one of the type of lucky people that actually gets gear that has sockets on it naturally, then you unfortunately cannot add a second regular socket. Buying a Facetor from Bonesmith Airmere requires a couple things though. For one, you'll have to have done at least up to the last sigil chapter of the patch 9.1 campaign Chains of Domination, which takes you through Korthia and parts of the Maw, and eventually you'll help Airmere do some plot critical thingies, so I won't spoil it if you haven't done it yet. You'll also need to become exalted with the Death's Advance faction, which is the main faction of Korthia, which does take a bit of time due to farming the daily quests and the weekly Shaping Fate quest as well. I still strongly recommend you use this method for buying your sockets though, as the Archivist Codex Reputation Currency Catalog Research is used for another really important item, and if you spend it all on sockets, you'll have less to spend for the other thing that I'll be mentioning in a bit. Buying Facetors from Airmere costs 1,000 Soul Cinders, which is the same currency you use for crafting and upgrading legendaries to the highest item levels possible currently. Before patch 9.15, this currency was very limited, as you could only earn a few hundred Soul Cinders each week from running Torghast. However, this has been changed, and now every time you run Layer 8 or higher in Torghast, you'll receive the full amount of Soul Cinders for that layer's completion repeatedly as many times as you want to run it. Layer 8 rewards a mere 170 Cinders, and going all the way up to Layer 12 rewards 350. However, I've personally found that it's much more efficient to run a lower layer that I could complete faster and without having to spend nearly as much time killing enemies or collecting power, so it just made it a much more speedy run. Layer 10 in particular was a pretty sweet spot for me, as I can clear on average a 10 in like 6 to 7 minutes and earn 270 Cinders, whereas a Layer 12, even when I'm going pretty quickly, takes me like 12-ish minutes, and it only gets 350, which isn't a very large increase in the amount of Cinders, considering how much longer it takes to run. This, of course, will really depend on quite a few variables, and frankly, how much you love or hate Torghast, but it does help if you have your Box of Many Things Torghast talent tree thing maxed out, since you can get a lot of very strong benefits out of it. The added perk of being able to earn Renown and extra Soul Ash that I can send to alt is a pretty nice bonus to this. And being a rogue lets me stealth skip tons of trash and vanish when I'm in combat, which really does accelerate the process, so score another point for the best class in the game. There have been some new improvements to leveling your Archivist Codex reputation too, such as numerous new perks you get as you progress, such as getting up to a 50% chance of earning bonus relic fragments when you kill rares and stuff. And there is a new Bind on Account item unlocked at Tier 6 that you can send to any character on your account. The Relic Examination Techniques item will make whatever character you consume this item on get 50% bonus reputation with the Archivist whenever you turn in relic fragments, which does speed up the grind quite a lot. However, the reason I'd refrain from using your cataloged research on Alloy Warping Facetors is because this vendor is the only one in the game that sells Deathbound Shards, which are used to level up your conduits all the way to 252 item level. The only other method of earning Deathbound Shards is from running the special Adamant's Vault section of Torghast, and you can only earn 1 shard per week. Empowering your conduits will generally net you more throughput gains than a single socket would anyhow, so keep that in mind if you're on the fence about upgrading conduits versus adding sockets to some of your off pieces. If you're already maxed out on all your conduits though, then feel free to spend your cataloged research on whatever you choose. Anyways folks, I hope this quick little tip proves useful to you, and maybe we'll eventually add an item to let us transfer Soul Cinders account-wide too, maybe? That would be pretty awesome, Blizzard. If the video proves helpful to you, please consider leaving a like or a comment, as they're greatly appreciated and help immensely with the YouTube algorithm's insatiable demands for engagement and other metrics and YouTuber mumbo-jumbo. As always, my appreciation and gratitude to all of my viewers, and especially my patrons, who all help make these Shiba Shenanigans possible. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.